back with another live show with you again. We're going to cover the love triangle that is Luke Getsy, Justin Fields, and Tyson Bagent. Is Bagent Luke Getsy's guy? Right? Does Justin have a future in Chicago? And how will Bagent fare versus the Las Vegas Raiders? We'll find out that and so much more. Listen, tune in, tap in, do me a favor, like, subscribe again, share, and I'm going to kick this intro for y'all again just in case you didn't hear it one time so I can edit it out the second time. So just rock with me for a minute.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
All right. Well, shout out to y'all. Brent C said, welcome back with sound, Coach T. Yeah, Coach T going to get this thing down at some point eventually. Listen, it's like my rookie season again. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Bayesian will fare much better than I'm doing today on Sunday versus the Raiders. Again, like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bells. Real quick, man, I want to give a quick shout out to my field soldiers. All of those you subscribed to the channel over the past year that's been rocking with us, that waited on me to come back. I appreciate you, all of you that subscribed just this week along off the first two videos that I dropped for the year. So that lets me know I got some support out here, man, and I appreciate y'all rocking with me. I'm going to try and stick it out this year, man, and ride us to the end of the season, man. So let's get into it, man. A lot of controversy going on at Hallis Hall, man. A lot of going on at Twitter, a lot of debate that's happening, man. So, listen, is Bagent Luke Getsy's guy? Now, I'm a self-proclaimed and self-professed supporter of Justin Fields, right? And y'all know me, my support, my takes don't come without warrant, right? I'm just not out here just winging it and coming up with stuff, man. I'm literally one of those guys that's going to actually go down and break down the film, and let y'all know what I'm seeing. And a few things that happened over the past season that's given me my perspective on who Luke Getsy is as a football coach and somewhat as a person. Of course, I don't know him personally, but sometimes you can put the context clues together, man, along with, you know what I'm saying, especially from the coaching place because we got the tape, right? We can always review the tape and kind of put it together, right? So here's the facts that I've been thinking about. Here's the facts. Luke Getsy had Tyson Bagent in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. He had him. He coached him at the Senior Bowl. He got to see Tyson Bagent up close, right? Luke Getsy had to have pounded the table for Tyson Bagent to come to Chicago. There's only one logical connection to get him to Chicago. Now, if Luke Getsy gets this guy to Chicago, he must see that obviously he's a good fit for his offense, right? He's a good fit for what he likes to do as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator. Now, there's this thing in coaching, right? There's a concept or there's the thought process that everybody can coach everybody. Everybody can coach anybody. But what happens is a lot of these offensive coaches in the NFL, they come from these different trees, these different coaching trees, and therefore they take up the system, they take up the tactics, they take up the strategy of their mentor. Right. In the case of Luke Getsy, he really comes out of a Mike McCarthy coaching tree per se. Now, a lot of the rumors that were coming about when we hired him was he was a Kyle Shanahan style, Mike McVay style, outside zone type of coach. And I can tell you, as a coach, somebody that's reviewed the tape, watched the tape over the past two seasons, I haven't seen a whole lot that resembles the consistency of a Kyle Shanahan system or a Sean McVay. By Kyle Shanahan, what do I mean? Where are the power concepts? Where are the counter concepts? Where is the outside zone? We run primarily inside zone. with our running backs? Where are the pulling guards and tackles? Sometimes we'll do it successfully, but we don't stick to it consistently. We don't build off of those concepts. If you watch a Kyle Shanahan offense, you'll always see guards, tackles, wide receivers, even pulling. Everybody on his offense is a blocker. You're running back, tight end, running back, wide receiver. But you can also equally get the ball, everybody on his offense. But what you don't see change too much on his offense, you don't see the blocking schemes change a whole lot on his offense. You always have outside zone. You always have inside zone. You have powers. You have counters. You have duos. You see a lot of the same movements. You see a lot of same movements up front, and therefore that's what makes his offense go. The blocking schemes stay the same, but you know what I'm saying? There's not a whole lot of, variation that's happening up front. So same thing with McVay. You see a lot of split zone, outside zone. Then you'll see a lot of naked boots off of the split zone concepts. And again, that's not what we've been running. We've been running a lot of wide open spread offenses, trying to do this thing that I've been hearing lately over the last couple of weeks called the quick game. The quick game. Though I've never heard of an offensive concept called the quick game. There's a West Coast offense that was popular in the 80s and 90s that morphed into a pseudo Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay style offense where the ball comes out quick. Some of the philosophies from that offense crept its way into what they do now. But the quick game is not something that, I've come to know as a real offensive philosophy. So I think it's just something that we've adopted, that we've made up, that we want to do in our offense. Now, the question was asked today during our presser, and I want to let that tape play, and I'll let the audience make up for their mind for themselves. So we get Tyson Bagent to Chicago, and he shows himself worthy in the preseason of at least a roster spot, coming from a undrafted free agent, undrafted free agent, to making a roster. He showed himself worthy, going up against the level of competition in the preseason that he did, that he was worthy of a roster. But I thought a reporter asked a great question in the presser today, and I'm going to try and cue that up, and I'm going to let y'all hear Luke Getsy's answer for yourself. You tell me what your thoughts are coming out of this answer.
You guys made a change on the depth chart when he goes from QB3 to QB2. What for him changed, I guess, like from a day-to-day, or did it stay the same as far as his responsibilities?
Yeah, no, that was all part of, our process and our plan, and kind of how we wanted that thing to play out from the very beginning. There wasn't something that happened that changed that.
All right. So y'all heard it from Luke Getsy himself when the reporter asked him, okay, Tyson Bagent started out as quarterback number 3, QB3, on the roster or the depth chart at the beginning of the season. What was it exactly that he did to warrant the position of QB2? Nathan Peterman is a seasoned vet, been on a number of teams and played football at times, good football at times. How did this kid come in and he jumped a seasoned veteran, NFL veteran, to get to the QB spot? I didn't ask the question. The reporter asked the question. And Luke Getsy's reply was, and he said, it was part of the plan the entire time. So, you know what I'm saying? That's not conjecture. That came from Luke Getsy's mouth himself. Now, you know what I'm saying? I have watched the film. You know what I'm saying? I hear all the tropes. I hear all the different things about, this, that, and the other. And I'll comment on that in a minute. But real fast, let me do this because I want to get down in DMs and give y'all a shout out. And then I also want to comment on some of the comments that's coming from the comment section as well. So real fast, let's switch over to the down in the DM section and let's get to it.
Crazy DMs or what?
Very.
Surprises or no?
You're talking like blue check marks?
Yeah, like
people who be sliding and I'm like, wow, y'all fuck with me like that.
Yeah, it's going down in the DMs. People be sliding on girl DMs. I guess that's what she was trying to say. Like, y'all really rock with me like that? Yeah, that's the question. So I appreciate y'all. Let me get this from the bottom. The Ghost Tribe of Judah. Jay Sanders Bagent will make sure he never takes another snap. He must be a Bayesian agent. Shout out to Jay Sanders, Leo Factor 1. Already shouted out Ghost Tribe of Judah. You guys are going at it. Mr. Mayhem 69. Clayton L. Bryant, shout out to you. My guy, Bears Media Co. Brent C. shouted you out earlier. Bear Truth 9 has been a long time follower. And I will actually get to some of the comments in the section. I'll follow up on some of these comments to see what y'all saying. What are y'all thinking? What is Bayesian according to Luke Getsy? Luke Getsy, that was the plan all along. So let's see what y'all saying in the comments. Why would Getsy have a narrative to favor Getsy if Fields works out if it helps Getsy? I don't understand the question. That question was a little bit all over the place. I think he says, why would Getsy have a narrative to favor? I think you mean favor Bayesian. If Fields works out, it helps Getsy. I think because Getsy's offense doesn't fit Fields, and the narrative is already out there that Justin is not pleased that the offense is not catered to fit his skill set. So he came out and commented early in the year that this offense is they're throwing too much at him too fast, or whatever the case may be, or whatever the quote was. So I think that's why it is. He needs a guy that fits his system for the system to operate. That's the truth of the matter. That's the reality. And watch this. I don't deny, and I won't deny, that the system that he's attempting to run, right? That I don't think it'll be. And this is the hot take right here. I don't think it will be successful anyway. They will have a measure of success, right? Because Getsy gets his guy. But Getsy does not have enough in his library. He does not have enough play calling experience, game stalling experience, game planning experience, and then play calling experience to defeat NFL defensive coordinators. Yes, he's done it for a couple of games, but he did it doing it Justin's way. That's the thing that nobody will remember, right? He did it coaching and changing the offensive philosophy, going more 12 personnel, right? Running the ball more against Denver and Washington, and he did it Justin's way. What happened this week right now was a reversion back to what he likes to do in this, spread them out, try to spread the ball across all over the yard type of thing. And I said this was going to happen Sunday, and I specifically said this was going to happen because we were missing our running backs, right? Casual fans that don't know football, you don't know how important the running backs are to the schematics of football, especially when your offensive line is banged up, bruised up, right? And I always compare it like this. I draw this analogy. Your offensive line is like a 5-cylinder engine, right? And if you only have 2 viable cylinders, 2 players that's good, you have to plug in, or 3, you have to plug in those other cylinders with other cylinders, other players, meaning your running backs, your tight ends. You have to add those guys to your blocking scheme. And our running backs are a critical part of our blocking scheme in Chicago because we don't have 5 guys up front that can hold up in protection. So going into Sunday's game, this is the comment I had going into Sunday games because I knew we didn't have our running backs. Because I'm telling y'all today, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if we take a step back. I know that's not what Bears fans want to hear, but I'm going to tell you right now, don't be surprised. I don't want this to happen, but if these guys can't pick up pass pro, right? If they can't pick up pass protection, if they don't know. All right, and that's what I said Sunday, and I'll let you know the reason why I said that on Sunday. I will go more in depth about that on what I said there on Sunday in a second. Let me get set up here. The reason why I said that on Sunday is because I believe Luke Getsy, like Matt Nagy, needs optimal. He needs optimal personnel fit for his system to be able to run his system, right? The quarterback is the very first sign that without optimal personnel, he cannot run his system. He needs to run his plays his way. He needs to have a quarterback that runs his system. He's not a coach that can cater his offensive philosophy to the player personnel that he has. So you bring in 2 running backs, one off the practice squad and one off the street, and you try to run your playbook or try to run a new philosophy that you have. A lot of times, and it's natural, it's nature for you to default back to what you know. And that's exactly what happened against the Vikings. And that's exactly what I thought would happen, because when I come up these takes, I put myself in the position that I used to hold as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator. And I think about all the challenges that you have as an offensive coordinator. And I remember losing a quarterback during the injury and having a guy sit on the bench that didn't know half the playbook as a quarterback. I remember losing, my favorite tight end one year, who was like a world beater tight end, could block, could run, a nightmare matchup. And there goes a quarter of my playbook. So you have to be able to scheme around these challenges that you have as a coach. And I knew absolutely that Luke Getsy did not have the chops to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. So remember, I said this because I'm the only one that's really out there willing to stick my neck out there and say that about this particular coach, right? I'm telling you, with this kid, and it's not a Tyson Bagent thing, but it's a Luke Getsy thing for me. With this guy, you're going to have success with this kid because everybody says he can read defenses better. He gets the ball out quicker. Yes, he does release the ball quicker, right? But if you know where you're going pre-snap, right? If you're doing one read and throwing the ball, then the ball is going to come out faster. I'm not going to debate that with you, right? The ball does come out a lot faster with him. It has a little bit more zip on it when it comes out. But this is what's going to happen, right? One or two things are going to happen with this style of offense. If you don't have good protection up front, you're going to go one read, right? And defense are going to pick up on the fact that you're going one read all the time. And guess what they're going to start doing? They're going to start sitting on your routes because they know you don't have the protection to hold up for multiple reads. You can't get to your second and your third read in this offense because we don't have the offensive line to hold up. The other thing is this: Luke Getsy, you know what I'm saying, in his regular state does not like going multiple protection, multiple 6-7 man max protection in his offense. It's not something that he likes doing. But if you notice in the Denver game and the Washington game, we went a lot of heavy 12 personnel, right? And he went a lot of max protection. That left players back. That gave the quarterback time to make multiple reads and to get the ball downfield, Justin, because he had time. But Luke doesn't want to play a downfield passing style offense. He wants to do a short pass game, dink and dunk, move the ball down the field. He doesn't really like to play the quarterbacks under center, right? Because under center requires long. The under center game is run the ball and play action to get the ball downfield. It's a more vertical style running game. Luke wants to throw screens, throw hitches, you know what I'm saying, throw outs here and there, stuff like that. And like I said, for what he likes to do, Tyson fits his skill set better. So it's not a knock on the kid. But what I'm going to tell you is this coach does not have the chops for long, sustained success. And this is what I'm afraid of. What I'm afraid of is we're going to see fool's gold with this situation. Any measure of success, Tyson Bagent, all he has to do is have one good drive and a poet in the press box. One good drive and a poet in the press box, and this thing is going to be Bagent mania. And y'all have fun with that. Go ahead and do it. But what I'm going to tell you is it's not going to be long-term success. If the Chicago Bears want to have long-term success, They have to build up this offensive line, and whoever they have at the offensive coordinator position needs to be able to cater his offense to the personnel that he has. That's the bottom line. And you need to get more experience at the position. This guy does not call plays in Green Bay for his duration at Green Bay. He didn't install plays. He was a position coach. He didn't call plays for the whole tenure. And you're not just going to jump out there and do that, you know what I'm saying, because you got a job, you know what I'm saying? And it's showing. This is why I think fans breeze past the offensive part of football, the coaching part of football. Fans breeze past the coaching part of football because they don't know what coaches do. They don't know what the offensive coordinator does, right? They don't know their job description. It's bigger than calling plays. It's not just calling plays. It's installing the entire system. You have to install the system. You're responsible for the game plan. You're installed for the play calling. You're in charge of the whole offensive staff. You have to put in the schematics, the blocking scheme. Hey, so this blocking scheme, SEMO, goes with this particular motion in the backfield. The quarterback's going to reverse out this way and hand the ball off this way. So everybody has their own schematics, every position group. Offensive line, wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. That's the schematics. And within the schematics, you have different rules that go against the schematics. So in this situation, this is the rule for that. I'll give you a general rule for offensive linemen. A general rule for offensive linemen that we'll install, for example, is you'll go down gap backer. So if you don't know who to block, they tell down gap backer to block the guy down from you, down in front of you, block the guy in the back, and then go to the backer. That's a rule, right? And the offensive coordinator is responsible for coordinate all these rules from all the different position groups and putting people in position. And what I'm saying to you is this cat is not displaying or showing us that he has the chops to be able to get this done, to orchestrate this all in the same way, right? I'll give you an example. Because people will think, well, Coach T, you know what I'm saying? You're saying this, you're saying that. This is all conjecture. How do you know? Another report that came out of today from Adam Hogue, right? Adam Hogue actually asked Luke Getsy today in the presser today. Do I have the video? Do I have the clip? Yeah, he asked him this one right here. I don't know if y'all can read that. Adam Hogue asked him, he says he asked him why the Bears opened in an empty formation, and Luke Getsy explanation for the sack on the first play of the game. Getsy says the Bears opened it empty to see if the Vikings would go big or sub package versus 21 personnel. The Bears open and empty to see if the Vikings would go big or sub package versus 21 personnel. That was the justification. For open the game in 21 personnel. Now, if you know football, all the people that I know that know football, that's part of Bears Twitter, Bears social media, everybody that knows football asks the same question. Versus a 70+% blitz scheme defense, why in the world would you come out in your offense and go empty formation? Not only would you go empty formation, but you went empty formation with 21 personnel. You had your tight end out there. You had two backs and a tight end out there. You had your tight end out there. You had your fullback split out as the number 5 or number 1 in the progression. I think he was number 1 because Justin looked right first on that play where he got sacked first. And everybody was like, Justin didn't should have thrown the ball. Yeah, you should throw the ball. But again, fans default to the players. They never think strategically to ask, what is the strategy here? Why versus a 70% blitzing defense would you go empty personnel knowing that you don't have your starting running back 1 and running back 2, why would you go empty personnel? Why do you do that? And why would you put your fullback as your number 1 option, then your best receiver as your number 2, unless it wasn't a true progression and the intention was to go to DJ from the jump? Now, this is what I'll surmise from that situation. Right? And should I go to Coach T's playbook on this? Am I ready for that? I already went down it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to Coach T's playbook and let's get into it real fast. Let me get you some graphic. And y'all know how I do with these X's and O's, man.
You know I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. How you want it, dog? Huh? Closed casket? You remember that fool in the wheelchair? How you think he got there?
It's like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I get down with these X's and O's. And I think my laptop is working like, you know what I'm saying, some of Luke Getsy schemes. So I'm going to talk you through it. This is my problem with you going empty personnel, 21 personnel, for the reason that you said you were doing it, Luke Getsy. You said the reason why you were doing it was to determine what packages, if the Vikings would go big or would they go to their sub packages. This is Luke Getsy's word. You went empty to determine if the Vikings, how they would adjust to your 21 personnel. So in his mind, it was okay to go empty to see how the Vikings would adjust to him having 21 personnel in the empty set. So if you were really doing that to go see how the defense would adjust to that set, then once you saw they went with a sub package, a nickel or dime package, why didn't you not have the offense shift back into a run formation, knowing that they had lighter bodies on the field, and run the ball? Why didn't you have a contingency set up for either situation if that's what you were doing? If you wanted to see if they were going to go with their base packages versus an empty formation or a light sub package for the empty formation, why didn't you shift the formation, have a call install? Oh, I see they got dime personnel and nickel personnel on the field. We got our 21 personnel on the field. Let's shift and run the ball since they got light bodies on the field. The reason why you didn't do that is because guess what? Either one or two things. Either you weren't smart enough to predict something, you're lying, or you just didn't know what to do. You just didn't know to do that. Or, I'm sorry, the last part was you really intended to beat the blitz by spreading the ball out and throwing the ball as a quick pass game to defeat the blitz. Again, it goes back to what I said earlier about this guy. He believes in the short passing game. So he defaulted back to what he knew. That's essentially it. That's the explanation for it. Because I don't believe you're crazy enough to believe that, you know what I'm saying, okay, I'm going to put this out there to see if they adjust to my personnel and go big. If they go big, I'm going to throw the ball against them. If they go small, you're going to do what? You're going to run the ball against them. So you threw it. And then he said he called the play on a later 3rd and 2 and got a first down with Cole Kmet. Yeah, I think the play went for like 3 yards. And that's the philosophical difference between Luke Getsy and Justin Fields. Luke Getsy wants to dink and dunk the ball down the field, and Justin wants to run the ball and go play action and take big shots and get big points down the field. That's just the bottom line of it. And it's a philosophical difference, and that's why we have the division in the fan base that we do. That's why the debate, you know what I'm saying, is it Justin? Nobody's really talking about Luke. I'm really like one of the only people, except for a few, that's talking about Luke. But, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I'll stand on my own square because to me, and it's just not to me, I'm confident in what I'm talking about. So it is what it is. All right, so like we got comments in the comments, so I'll address them because I see y'all taking shots in the comments. So Ghost the Tribe of Judah says, with Coach T, the explanation is that you're a crappy QB, can't even learn the playbook. He sucks. That's a football explanation. Good job there. Good job there. That's a football explanation. Yeah. He's offering football explanation. Yeah. I see what he's offering. Football explanations. That's all good. I appreciate the comments, though. You know what I'm saying? It's healthy for the algorithm and all that other stuff. But the bottom line is, you know what I'm saying, all the tropes out there, y'all can go ahead with the tropes. He can't read defenses. He can't throw this pattern, this, that, and the other pattern. That's fine and all. But, again, nobody was saying that 2 games ago when, you know what I'm saying, Justin was pretty much leading the league in touchdowns and touchdown to interception ratio and yards. But I'm not here to argue with you about Justin and Tyson Bagent. I gave you my take. I stand on my take. I'm telling you, the kid can be good. He can be good. But I'm going to tell you right now, Tyson's Bagent's limitation is going to be Luke Getsy. It's not a Tyson Bagent versus Justin Fields thing. It's a Luke Getsy versus both of them deal, right? The fans are just getting caught up in the middle of it all and choosing sides because they think it's either or. I'm telling you, the enemy is not the players. The enemy is the coach. If you have this coach and you let him think that he's having any measure of success, then you guys are going to be stuck with him. Mind you, I'll say this. I was off the Nagy train before 6 months before everybody else was off the Nagy train. I knew the cat didn't have the chops because, again, I've coached enough ball. I know what it looks like on tape. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ghost of Tribe. You're saying the same thing that many of people have already said. Say something new, bro. It was Denver and Washington. Washington had one of the best D-lines in the league. And, again, we went 12 personnel versus that D-line, and we kicked their butt. We kicked their butt because we went 12 personnel. We didn't try and block them up Luke Getsy's way, 5-man protection. We didn't try to go our 5 versus their 4. We blocked max protection and got the ball down the field. Now, again, give me a football explanation or rebut that in a football way, not he sucks, this, that, and the other, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So there you go. I don't know what you mean by choose, but I'm not gonna get into it with you back and forth about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just watch the game. It's gonna tell you everything that you need to know about, you know what I'm saying, this coordinator. He is who he is, man. And you know, it is what it is. It's just like that. So he said Nagy won the Super Bowl. Yeah, you're right. He win 2? Yeah. That's our debating points. I'm not gonna argue with you there. So shout out to you. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's my take on it. That's my feel on it. I feel like, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna have some success. Success over the next couple of weeks. Like I said, Justin will not require surgery, so he'll be back in a couple of seasons. But I believe Bagent is Luke Getsy's guy, and rightfully so. Like, I don't blame Luke Getsy not 1 minute. You getting a coaching opportunity, you want to be able to run your stuff, and you know you in the paradox, you in the conundrum, man. Because guess what? There's a lot of people pulling for Justin, but there's nobody pulling for you, and you want to be able to run your stuff. You want to be able to show the league what you got. The problem is, bro, you just ain't got nothing. Does Justin have a future in Chicago is my second question. Quite honestly, man, I don't know because, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like the politics of the NFL, sometimes you never know which way it's going to go. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know which way Ryan Poles is going to be. And this is supposed to have been a slow build from the ground up. I think the place they went wrong was they went wrong with the hiring of the coordinators. You have a new GM. You have a first-time GM, first-time head coach, first-time offensive coordinator that hadn't called plays since, hell, I called plays last. And then You had Allen Williams, who's gone on to wherever land, who hadn't called plays in years, and he was unsuccessful in his last tenure as a defensive coordinator. So now your head coach has to split play calling responsibilities with his head coaching responsibilities. He has to learn how to do both on the fly. By the way, I'll say this about the defense. The defense is taking a step forward. Although we lost that game, this defense is playing with more intensities. They're playing more intensity, playing quicker. It seems like they're flying to the ball. We didn't see as much blitzing versus the Vikings, but I didn't think versus this team we should have blitzed as much versus the Vikings because Kirk Cousins is one to get the ball out of his hands quick. He is a Luke Getsy style quarterback. Kirk Cousins is. Luke would probably be salivating to have somebody like Kirk Cousins on his side, somebody statuesque that's going to sit there and three-step drop, get the ball out of his hands, and because what? Because he can't do anything else. That's mainly why you get that style of quarterback or play that style of offense, because they don't have the gets, they don't have the legs, they don't have the get-ups like that, and you can't do anything else with them. So, yeah, you wouldn't play that blitzy style of offense to come after somebody like that because the ball is going to be gone. So there you go. But the defense, I believe, has gotten better over the last couple weeks. I think the offense could have if the game plan was different, and Luke showed you some stuff during that game. He ran some toss sweeps. He ran a couple plays here and there, some toss sweeps, some power plays, and some counter plays out there that had he stuck with it, had he come out that way, the power plays running right at the teeth of a blitz is how you beat it. Trying to be cute with blitzes and try to scheme around it is not how you beat it. Because the thing about blitzes is this. All it takes is for one guy to get outside of his gaps with a blitz, and you're going to hit your head on the goalpost. That's the problem with a blitz. With a blitz, a guy is coming downhill so hard that all it takes is for an offensive lineman to push a guy out of his gaps, and that guy misses tackle, and a run back is scoot right past him. I've seen it so many times. But, again, we tried to finesse our way around football 101, and we made it more of a struggle than it had to be. Now, if you watch the last two drives where Tyson Bagent were in, even the drives where Justin Fields was in, and Luke Getsy ran the ball, we had success. When he ran right at him, we had success. And that's how you have to attack the blitz. So, again, I hope for the sake of us that you know what I'm saying, that, you know, he finds it, he gets together, but at the same time, I hope he doesn't, because I want the guy out of here. I want the guy out of here. I'm going to go back to the comment section real fast because Bears Media Company asking some questions. I have a few questions in here I want to hit. I saw a question earlier. I would love to see run plays with Foreman this week. Yeah, I would love to see more plays, run plays with Foreman this week, mostly toss plays. Like I said, down here run plays. Nothing super cute. He has to keep it basic with these guys. Keep in mind, guys, that Deontay Foreman was on, I believe this is for Devontae Foreman. He was on the bench for a reason. He was on the practice squad for a reason. I believe that has a lot to do with his inability to pass block. Somebody, and I don't know if I still have the tweet up. No, I deleted it. One of the girls who does the statistics on X put out a tweet that showed the pass blocking grades for Devontae Foreman and Darrington Evans, and they were much lower, much lower than Roshan Johnson and Khalil Herbert. Surprisingly, Khalil Herbert's pass blocking grades have gotten better since last year, and I was big time heavy on him about his inability to pass block last year. So it's good to see that he's improved in that area. That's an area we can trust him. But again, the offensive coordinator is going to have to use him in that fashion instead of just running him out to the flats for a check down. If you know you don't have 5 guys to block up front, then keep them in and let them be part of your protection game so we can get the ball down the field. That's football 101, man. I don't know any other way to see it. Jay Sanders says they started Evans over Foreman. Couldn't understand why. Because it goes back to what I said Sunday and what I'm always saying about football. I can get a high school kid out of Florida, Texas, and Georgia that's a 4 or 5 star, and he can run behind the NFL offensive line. What makes you stick in the NFL as a running back is not your ability to run the ball. Anybody can do that. It's your ability to block and pass pro, pick up the entire playbook for your ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. It's all the other stuff, right? Because guess what? If the only thing you can do is run the ball when you're in the offense, is the defensive coordinator, the defense sees that. That's a tell. That's a tell. When you come on the field, he doesn't catch the ball out of the backfield. He doesn't block and pass pro. He doesn't participate in any shifts or anything like that. They know personnel grouping, so they know what you're going to do when you're shifting personnel in and out of the game. So they know what they expect. And if the only thing you know how to do is run the ball, they'll be like, oh, he's getting the ball. It's a run play. We're going to stop it. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be you doing more than that. I'm ignoring that comment. Let's see. More plays from front this week. Let's see. I see this is something new that I haven't seen in a while. Mooney is more athletic for the way Getsy tries to use him. Getsy makes it easier to defend our athletic wide receivers by using them. Yeah, I mean, listen, okay, if a guy is a speedster, then if you got a guy that's a speedster and all he's running is hitches and curls, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? If then you don't want a guy that's lanky, like, long, lean and lanky like Darnell Mooney. If you know what I'm saying, all you're gonna do is run it with the short game. You can get a bunch of short, skinny wide receivers that's quick twitch guys that can get, you know what I'm saying, they can make a lot of moves in a short space, and you can get those guys to get open. But Darnell Mooney's a straight line speed guy that has, you know what I'm saying, probably above average route running ability and stuff like that. But you got to utilize his speed. And again, that's what we thought we were getting in a Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay style offense. So there it goes. Bears Media Company asked the question, Coach, what OC would you like to see come in and head coach also? That's a great question, Bears Media Co, because I've been roasting Luke Getsy so long. I've had an idea about a few names. I'm gonna tell you right now, true to the NFL norm, there's gonna be about 3 hot guys, that's qualified guys, that's gonna be in the coaching pool this year, and there's gonna be about 6 to 8 jobs. There's going to be 3 real qualified guys, and there's going to be about 6 to 8 jobs. I believe those guys will be, of the young guns. There's going to be Ben Johnson. There's going to be Mike LaFleur, and I believe his name is Sheldon out of Seattle's offensive coordinator. I believe those are going to be the three hot names that you're going to hear for coaching jobs, and they're going to be the most qualified 3. Because there's going to be more jobs available, the coordinator in Tampa Bay is going to get a look. I don't know his name. He's going to get a look because just because, like I said, what makes somebody great, you know what I'm saying? A few good plays and a pour it in the press box is what's going to make this guy get a job. But what I feel like the Bears should do, honestly, if you really can't get Harbaugh, because here's the thing, the difference about Chicago and most teams, I think fans overestimate Chicago's attractiveness to people. Period. People that live in Chicago. I'm trying to be careful when I say people that live in Chicago overestimate Chicago as an attractive location to be and live and move as a player and or a coach. this franchise, we overestimate this franchise because it's one of the foundational franchises of the NFL. We overestimate the attractiveness of the Chicago job. I really believe, now this is conjecture, I really believe there are coaches and players out there that don't want to come to Chicago as an organization. And we, instead of going out there and getting the sexy name coach, we need to get a coach whose personality fits the city. You need to go get a Harbaugh, a seasoned vet, a coach that has head coaching experience but is not so much removed from football that he knows the nuances of the game. He knows an approach. He wants to build a system in which he can draft players into that system, and he can build players into the system. That's the thing. We did not do that this time. I don't think we had an offensive philosophy that we were going after this time, or we just didn't ensure that the guy that was going to be in charge of the offense had enough resident experience to be able to pull off the job that we were required to do. Somebody lied on their resume. That's all I'm going to say about that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody lied on their resume. But I feel like the way to go this time is to have a veteran, experienced veteran head coach. I'm thinking of Harbaugh initially. I don't know if any other names out there, former coaches that I would like. I did hear the other day that John Gruden was coming back to coaching, but I think that's too controversial for what the Bears and the culture we're trying to build in terms of diversity. That just wouldn't land well with the fan base. Well, some of my fan base, it probably would land well with. I'm just going to be honest with you. They would care less. But anyway, I won't even go there. But anyway, yeah, I think Harbaugh's initial name that I think of. There may be others that come out throughout the season that I may think of. But then it's beyond that for me. Then you have to find a coordinator who matches your city and your style of play that you want to play with. I like Greg Roman as a potential candidate. There's other seasoned veteran offensive coordinators that's out there. But here's the key attribute that I feel like we need to look for in a coordinator. We need to find somebody that doesn't have the allure and the aspirations to be a head coach. Harbaugh would galvanize the city. It would galvanize the fan base. Harbaugh could probably hire a social media influencer as offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator and get away with it for a year or so. I heard Byron Leftwich tossed out there, his name out there, tossed out there too. The problem with Byron is, where is he right now? I don't think he left Tampa Bay under the best circumstances. It's a new guy calling plays down there right now, and that guy is a head coaching candidate already. He's a head coaching candidate already, the guy in Tampa Bay. Dana Tanner said, add me to Chicago Bears 360 coach. I think Eberflus was Ted Phillips hired, bro. Poles drafted Mahomes and other KC talent. Flus reminds me of the other coaches Phillips signed. Man, listen, I haven't spent a whole lot of time on Flus tonight. I spent most of my takes on Luke Getsy because I want the guy gone. Even if we kept Flus, I want Getsy gone. But here's my problem with Flus. He's not a good I don't know what he has going on in the locker room as far as how he's speaking to the players and how he's keeping them together. So on that part, I applaud him for keeping the players together for pretty much 2 losing seasons or whatever. I don't know if he's holding them accountable enough. Cole Kmet said he does hold them accountable, but hold them accountable relative to what is what I would ask Cole. Like based off of your experience, have you ever had hard-nosed coaches in college that weren't player coaches compared to what, Cole? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's his personality? Because he doesn't exude that when he comes to the podium and speaks to the media, speaks to the fan base. He doesn't exude that. And the other part is, you know what I'm saying, he's starting to get this Pinocchio type of personality where, You know what I'm saying? Several of the media members are starting to catch him in just obvious lies when he says anything. Like Luke Getsy came out today and contradicted the whole Cody Whitehair, reason why he got benched during the game whole situation. And basically Luke said it straight up. Cody didn't have a good day, and we was just giving another look. He wasn't having a good day. I said for the longest that Lucas Patrick was the best of the options we had at center. And the reason why I said that, because I felt like Lucas Patrick is a bigger, bulkier guy, and he could anchor in the run game better. Not necessarily his pass protection, but I'd rather have a guy be good at one and mediocre at the other versus a guy that's bad at both. And I think from the center position, Cody gives you nothing in the run game, and he can't anchor in the pass game. But at least in the run game, Lucas gives you a bigger body. So if you run, those power gap schemes and pull guards behind him and tackles behind him, he's not getting pushed in the backfield and disrupt your pulling guards, tackles, tight ends, wide receivers, running backs, whatever you got going on. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, But Luke, Flus is very, he's losing favor with me very quickly because I feel like he's covering a lot for Luke Getsy's flaws. And here's my other problem with that, right? And I got to get ready to get out of here because I'm losing power. My other problem with that is this. You have to know enough about offensive football to be able to correct your offensive coach or be able to go into the offensive rules and give him guardrails in your meetings with them, right? So as a head coach, you're watching games and you know your head coach, your offensive coordinator needs to play complementary football to the personnel you have, right? So I'll give you an example. Luke wants to spread the ball out and throw it all over the yard. Well, if you have a bunch of 3-and-outs with our defense, and our defense has to stay on the football field for long periods of time, it's guaranteed that we're going to lose the game. So again, why are you not running the ball more, taking the air out of the ball, and eating up more clock with our young defense? They can't play well when they're tired all the time. It's not complimentary football. There's another reason right there that I just came up why this guy shouldn't be there. He doesn't want to play complimentary football to the defensive scheme that we running, right? Those guys can't be blitzing the whole games coming after the defenses, whatever. Guess what? The guys are tired. You can't blitz. It's going to be a shit show if you're blitzing while you're tired. He doesn't want to run the ball, run play action off. He doesn't want to go 12 personnel, run the ball, take the air out of the ball, and play complementary football to the defense. But as a head coach, you go in there and say, hey, God, listen, we're going in this game. You got two good running backs. You're going to run the ball 30 times a game, at minimum 25. So you start giving them targets to hit. You don't tell them what plays to run, but you can still go in there and give them targets to hit. Hey, you're going to run the ball 25 times a game between the backs. I don't care how it's split. DJ is going to get over 7 targets, right? Justin's going to have X number of runs, design runs. You start giving them guardrails, and then he has to devise his game plan within the guardrails you give him. You know what I'm saying? You let them start out wide. But it's like my people that report to me at work. You let them start out wide, but when they're not getting the job done, you're like, okay, I'm finna give you some guardrails to work within, some rules to work within. I want to see this number of running plays. I want to see. Then you start going more and more into micromanaging. Okay, you ran the ball this way. I want to see this number of counter plays, this number of power plays. You know what I'm saying? And you start tightening the reins as much as you need to throughout that process to keep it going, to get the team going. But anyway, listen, I know y'all got so many more questions for me. I love hanging out with y'all. Listen, I tried to do this earlier. It wouldn't work out for me, but I'm glad I'm able to do it. And I'm running out of power here on my production station, a.k.a. iPad. So I got to get out of here. Listen, I'll be back Sunday at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. pregame show to give my final thoughts before the game, before Agent Bajan take the field. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. So join me Sunday at 10. If you're watching this again on the playback, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. Definitely don't forget to subscribe. And guess what? Anything I said tonight you don't agree with, comment on it. If you think I'm a Homer, Justin Stan, go in on the comments. Tell me how you feel about me. Call me all kind of names, all that stuff in the comments. I don't care. All right. If you think I'm just wild, I'm just making stuff up, tell me in the comments. But again, don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. Whatever you do, call me what you want, and just remember about this show, right? Just remember this show. I'm never gonna get too bad because guess what?
I built this shit.
Guess what?
Me, brick by brick. And I'll be damned if I let you tear it down just because you don't like the way another nigga talk.
That's basically it. That's basically it. Tell him Franklin Saint. Tell him Franklin Saint. I built this. Built by Brooke. Anyway, I'll check y'all out next time. Peace. Y'all have a good night.